Did you know that ignoring the symptoms of a low or dirty transmission fluid can result in costly repairs or even the need for a complete transmission replacement? That's right, taking care of your car's transmission is crucial, and prevention is key. In this video, we'll explain the importance of knowing the symptoms of low or dirty transmission fluid and why it's crucial to check your transmission fluid level and condition before going to a transmission shop. But before we dive into it, let's take a closer look at why your car's transmission is so vital and how it works. Welcome to this video from Car Computer Exchange, where we'll discuss the importance of maintaining your car's automatic transmission. Your car's transmission is the mechanical system responsible for transferring power from the engine to the wheels, allowing you to shift gears and control your speed. It's an incredibly complex and vital component that needs regular maintenance to perform correctly. In this video, we'll highlight the importance of knowing the symptoms of low or dirty transmission fluid and encourage you to check your fluid level and condition regularly. We'll also mention that some cars have sealed transmissions and explain what that means. So, whether you're a car enthusiast or just want to keep your car running smoothly, keep watching to learn more. Fault code related to transmission fluid sensor or switch pressure. Now, we know what you're thinking. What the heck is a transmission fluid sensor or switch pressure? Don't worry, we're not here to give you a complicated technical explanation. Basically, if your car's computer is throwing up a fault code related to the transmission fluid sensor or switch pressure, it could mean that there's an issue with your transmission fluid. But many people assume it's a problem with the sensor or switch and overlook the low or dirty transmission fluid. That's why it's crucial to check your transmission fluid level and condition regularly. Trust us, you don't want to ignore this symptom and end up with a hefty repair bill. Another symptom to keep an eye out for is hard or delayed shifting. If your car is struggling to shift gears smoothly or is making strange noises while shifting, it could indicate internal transmission problems. But before you panic and rush off to the mechanic, remember to check your transmission fluid level and condition first. If the fluid is very dirty, putting new fluid in could make things worse. So, make sure you're aware of the proper procedure for checking and changing your transmission fluid before you try to fix the problem yourself. Hard or delayed shifting. If you're noticing that your car is taking longer than usual to shift gears, or that it feels like you're driving a manual instead of an automatic, it's time to pay attention. This could be a sign of internal transmission problems. And let's face it, you don't want to end up stuck in the middle of nowhere with a car that won't shift gears. Now, before you panic and start calling up your local transmission shop, there's something you can do first. Check your transmission fluid level and condition. Yes, I know, it sounds like a hassle, but trust me, it's worth it. If your transmission fluid is low or dirty, it could be the cause of your shifting problems. So, make sure you're keeping an eye on that fluid level and give it a sniff to see if it's starting to smell burnt. If it is, it's time to change it out. But, and this is a big but, if your transmission fluid is extremely dirty, adding new fluid could actually make things worse. Yep, you heard that right. It's like trying to clean a muddy floor with more mud. It's just not gonna work. So, the moral of the story is, always check your transmission fluid level and condition before jumping to conclusions. And if you do need to change it out, make sure you're doing it right. You don't want to make the problem worse by adding more dirty fluid. Slipping transmission. You know that feeling when you're cruising down the road, minding your own business, and suddenly, your car starts revving higher than usual, but it's not shifting gears? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now, before you start screaming and pulling your hair out, let's take a look at some of the possible causes of a slipping transmission. It could be because your fluid level is low, which is a problem that can be easily fixed by checking your fluid levels and topping them off if necessary. Or it could be because your fluid level is dirty, in which case, you should get it changed ASAP. And if your fluid levels are fine and your fluid is clean, then it might be because your clutch is worn out, which means it's time to call in the experts. If you're anything like me, The thought of dealing with car problems makes you want to crawl under a rock and hide. But don't worry, checking your fluid levels and condition is a quick and easy process that can save you a lot of headaches and cash in the long run. And if it turns out that you do need a mechanic to take a look at your clutch, just remember that they're the experts for a reason. So, next time your transmission starts slipping, take a deep breath and put on some calming music. And remember that there's a good chance it's just a simple fix. And if it's not, well, at least you tried, right? Just make sure to keep up with regular maintenance, check your fluid levels and condition, and don't be afraid to seek professional help if needed. So, how are you feeling about your transmission fluid knowledge so far? Are you ready for some more essential tips to keep your car running smoothly? Let us know in the comments below. Transmission overheating. Are you feeling the heat? No, not the blazing sun outside, but the heat coming from your car's transmission. If your warning light is on or your temperature gauge is off the charts, you might be experiencing transmission overheating. Now, before you start sweating bullets, let's get to the root of the problem. One of the most common causes of transmission overheating is low or dirty fluid. Yes, that's right. Just like a clogged artery can cause heart problems, dirty fluid can cause transmission problems. So, it's time to get down and dirty and check that fluid level and condition. If you're not sure where to start, don't worry. We've got you covered. First, locate the transmission dipstick, which is usually labeled and located near the engine. Pull it out, wipe it clean, reinsert it, and then pull it out again to check the fluid level. If it's low, add the appropriate type of fluid as per your vehicle's manufacturer's recommendation. Now, if you're like me, you might be thinking, why bother checking the fluid level when I can just keep adding more fluid? But hold on there, Speed Racer. Adding too much fluid can be just as bad as having too little. So, make sure you're adding the right amount and always double check the level after adding. If your fluid level is fine, but your fluid is looking like a swamp monster, it's time for a fluid change. A dirty transmission is like a ticking time bomb, waiting to go off at the worst possible moment. So, save yourself some time and money by getting a fluid change before things get too hot to handle. Finally, if none of the above solutions work, it might be time to have your transmission cooler or radiator checked. These parts can wear out over time and cause overheating, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Unusual noises. Picture this. You're driving down the road, enjoying your favorite tunes, and suddenly, you hear a noise. At first, you think it's just a song you don't recognize, but as the sound gets louder, you realize it's coming from your car. Now, we're not talking about the sound of your guilty pleasure playlist blaring out of your speakers. We're talking about that grinding, whining, or humming noise coming from your transmission. If you're hearing these unusual noises, it's time to pay attention. Not only could it be a sign of low or dirty transmission fluid, but it might also indicate internal damage. So, what should you do? First things first, pop open the hood and check your transmission fluid level and condition. If it's low or dirty, it's time for a change. And if you're not sure how to do that, don't worry. There are plenty of helpful tutorials online. But if you're not comfortable doing it yourself, it's best to leave it to the professionals. Now, if your transmission fluid is all good, but you're still hearing those pesky noises, it's time to take your car to a mechanic. They can check for any internal damage and get you back on the road in no time. In conclusion, unusual noises coming from your transmission are no laughing matter. So keep an ear out and take care of your transmission fluid. And remember, if in doubt, leave it to the professionals. After all, they're the experts, and you're the one who wants to avoid any embarrassing noises coming from your car on your next road trip. And that's it for today's video on how to maintain your car's automatic transmission. We hope you find these tips helpful and informative. Remember, taking care of your car's transmission is essential for its longevity and to avoid costly repairs. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends who might find it helpful too. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Car Computer Exchange, for more informative and entertaining car-related content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.